What's the difference between a black man and a pizza?
What?
A pizza can feed a family of 4.
Wow. 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 What's up, guys? It's Alex here with Southern Racing, which is proudly supported by PD Tuning. Today we're here with another simple episode for the Ford Mustang Ecoboost, which is going to be an oil change. The tools that you're going to need for this are going to be a ratchet with a 15 attachment. You're going to need a funnel, an oil filter. Of course, you're going to need oil, jack stands, and wheel stoppers. So first things first, as always, you want to go ahead and pop the hood. And if you want to take 3, maybe 5 minutes just to always look over everything, because it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. The next thing we're going to do is take wheel stoppers and put them behind the rear wheels. Now that your car is secure, the next thing you want to do is take your jack and position it underneath the car. Okay, so before you lift your car, you want to make sure you are safe. Always have an actual jack stand available when you lift the car up. We're lucky enough to, or fortunate enough to actually have this big old jack. So let's go ahead and lift the car up and put this jack underneath it, so if anything was to fail in this jack, we wouldn't, die. Now, depending on how fat or not fat you are, you may have to raise the car more than others. I'm huge, so I gotta raise the car a lot. But it's all good. Take our jack, a little more, put it underneath, give it a couple more pumps. Two more. There we go. And then we're going to slowly let pressure out of the lift. Ooh, that wasn't slow, but same thing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get underneath the car. Alright guys, so now that we're underneath the car, there are two different ways of doing this. You can either undo this bolt first, which is for the oil pan, or you can undo the oil filter first. Now, depending on who you speak with, they tell you to do it one way or the other. I like to do the oil filter first, and then actually the oil pan. So, let's go ahead and loosen this up. Also, if you guys need gloves, this is the way you wear gloves, by the way. If you guys need gloves, I have a link in the description for everything that I'm using today. So that way you can stay clean and not get all fucking gross. Or semi-clean. Because, when you work on cars, you're always going to get dirty. Alright, so we're unscrewing this. There's the filter. Now this is a Wix filter or Napa filter. So if you're looking for it, again, I'll have the parts number down below. And we're going to let this drain for, I don't know, a couple of seconds. Oh, that smell. And then next what we're going to do is undo this bolt, which is for the oil pan. I just got these gloves and they're now soaked, which is great. Okay, so what we're going to do, now that the oil filter's off, we're going to take the bolt out. We're going to put this bitch on here and just push. Now when it's loose, we're going to strategically position the catch can, because that's just going to go everywhere. And we're just going to let it drop. like so. Wait, maybe we can hold it. Ah! And then we just let the oil drain. So let's go ahead and let that drain for like a minute or two. And while that's draining, let's go ahead and go up top. And while the oil is draining, we're also going to undo the fill plug so that way the oil can just drain out. Alright guys, so now that the oil pan basically is empty, we're gonna take some of this drippity drip oil, put it on the bolt, tighten it back in there, and then we're going to take, again, it's a 15, we're going to tighten it and give it a good good that'll be that. Oops. And then we have our new oil filter right here, and we're going to take some oil, old oil, and just kind of lube up the rubber seal on here and the threads, and then we're going to put it on. Now, I'm speaking from experience, so let this be a warning to you. When you're tightening the oil filter, don't use oil filter tightening tools. You always want to tighten it hand tight. And if your hands are slippery, put your nasty ass gloves back on because they won't be slippery. And again, you want to go hand tight. Maybe give it a little bit of an like an for it, but you don't want to use a tool to tighten it because it's going to be a pain in the ass to take back off. So now that the bolt is tight, the oil filter is back on, you can take the oil catcher or oil drain container, bring it out front, we can lower the car, and then we can fill it up with oil. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so like I said, now what we're going to do is we're going to lower the car back down. So we're going to take the jack the car up a little bit to take pressure off the jack stand. Like so. And then we're going to slowly loosen up. Wow, my hands are slipping. Okay. And then it's going to lower the car back to the ground, which this is a low profile jack stand, which fits underneath the car. The other ones that I had before, they didn't, so that's a big thing. So now what we're going to do is get a funnel, which we got right here. Put that right in there, and then we're going to start filling up the car with oil. Now, an important thing here is, again, if you have a catch can on the car, you always want to check the catch can. We checked it just a couple of weeks ago and emptied it out. So I don't need to do it this time, but if you don't check it every couple of weeks, you want to at least change it, you know, when you do your oil change. So as far as oil is concerned, you guys know I like to use liquid moly. And this is, what is it? This is 5 liters, and this is another liter, which is right around 5.5-ish, 6 quarts. So let's go ahead and start filling this baby up. What we're going to do is we're going to take our liquid moly, and we're going to start pouring that in there. And you know it's new oil because it looks like maple syrup. Well, it has the color of maple syrup. It's not the consistency of maple syrup, so. Look at that right there. And ideally speaking, what will happen with this, the car will take a whole bottle of this and half a liter of the small one, which is half a bottle. So what we're going to do here, we're going to put this whole thing in there, or maybe a little less just to be sure. Then remeasure on the dipstick where we're at, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so now that we have the 5-liter jug in the car, we're going to let it sit for a little bit, pull the dipstick, and we're basically going to measure where the oil's at. Which it looks like it's at the halfway mark. If you guys can see that. So let's do it one more time. And you can see it's about halfway mark. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to crack open the liter. We're going to put a little bit of that in there. We're going to check again. You want it to be just under full. That's like the ideal spot for it to be. So let's do it like this. It's about half. Give it a couple seconds to sit. Put the dipstick out. And now we're shit. Now we're full. One more time. Yep, now if you look here, we're right over the full hole. That sounds really bad. So what we're gonna do is put the dipstick back in, take the funnel out, grab a paper towel, put it inside the funnel, put it off to the side, and close this back up. Another thing that's very important is you want to make sure that you recycle your oil properly and bring it to your parts store. Or if you know anybody that accepts used oil, go ahead and bring it to them. Don't just dump it out the backyard or burn it off. You know, Mother Nature appreciates this, and so will your children later on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the oil from the collector, put it back in the original packaging, and we're going to take it to the parts store to get recycled. And now we're at the parts store in the back. And we're recycling our oil like a good noodle. Alright guys, so this was your oil change. Really easy. If you're not recording or anything, you probably should get it done within 30 to 45 minutes. Again, I use the liquid moly. That's what I use. That's what I've been using since the beginning. It's really good stuff. It's full synthetic, and it's made in Germany, which is where I'm from, so you know it's good shit. But again, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe on the video, and don't forget, it's not over until you win. So we just pop that off really easy. So then what we'll do is just kind of